So it's time for a big update on development of Starfield for Xbox Series consoles. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about Starfield and development process of that game for Xbox Series consoles specifically. And I've got some good news. Now, by the way, this information is a courtesy of Phil Spencer himself. He actually shared some interesting information on Starfield during the XCast podcast like 2 days ago or so. And what he actually said about the support that Bethesda is getting for that game, Starfield, is actually very encouraging. Because we all know, and Phil Spencer did admit that Redfall didn't really get a proper support, like tech support. Because the thing with Redfall, for example, was that Arcane started working with Unreal Engine for that game. Back in the days, they used like different engines, so that was a new experience for them, I guess. But at the same time, Xbox, or should I say Xbox Game Studios, have got quite a lot of experience with Unreal. We're talking about Coalition, we're talking about Ninja Theory, Obsidian, and a couple of other studios did work with Unreal Engine 4, so I don't really know why they didn't really support that game and that studio properly. Maybe they thought that, hey, it's not really a big of a game, so they should actually manage and they should handle that game good anyway. And I guess maybe it actually works both way. I guess Arcane didn't really ask for help either. Whatever happened there shouldn't really happen again, hopefully. But it was a bit different story with Starfield apparently, and Phil Spencer did say that with Starfield they actually jumped in very early in development, supporting that game after they acquired ZeniMax Bethesda. Because like Starfield is a flagship, of course, and obviously there's quite a lot of focus on that game. And he did say that they did send out ATG, so Advanced Technical Group, I think that's how they call it. So let's call them a Xbox technical ninjas, right? So we're talking about like a group of people that know everything about how Xbox consoles work, how to optimize for these consoles and that kind of stuff. So they sent out these people to help Bethesda to optimize their creation engine too for Xbox Series consoles. And they did say that they did that quite early after acquiring them, so that's actually good. And I would imagine that they would help them out even before that, because it's not that ATG is only for first-party developers. ATG also helps third-party developers, right? But I guess they cannot really share all their knowledge, or maybe they cannot spend as much time with them, with third-party developers, as with their own first party, right? So looks like Starfield is in a bit different position when it comes to development and support, Xbox support, the ATG support, right? So that's very good news, because that means that if that was the case, and we all remember that Bethesda was bought back in 2000, I want to say, it's 2023, so ATG Group actually been helping them out with solving technical issues and that kind of stuff for at least 3 years, right? And by the way, I don't really know the extent of that help, whether there's some people basically sitting in Bethesda studio coding stuff. I don't have a clue how that actually works, but hopefully they will be able to, I guess, turn things around a little bit with that engine and support the Xbox Series consoles properly, both of them. I really do hope that they will take advantage of at least some of these proper next-gen RDNA 2 features, because let's face it, in order to take full advantage of the Xbox Series consoles capabilities, especially Xbox Series X, but all these features are very important for Xbox Series S too, well, developers have to really focus more on a software side of things, not necessarily just teraflops, right? I mean, we all know that it's not all about teraflops, and PlayStation 5 actually shows that very well, right? I mean, it's sort of a less powerful console, yet a lot of games actually run better on PlayStation 5. So yeah, hopefully with that expertise, and hopefully they will be taking full advantage of the velocity architecture, things like SFS, direct storage, and that kind of stuff. And obviously RDNA 2 features, some of the machine learning, maybe, I don't know, some upscaling, who knows, right? I would love them to use mesh shaders, but I'm not really sure if that's actually doable. Because the thing with mesh shaders is that, yeah, it's a totally revamp of the engine, right? I mean, they had 3 years, so why not, right? It's not that it's not possible, it's not doable. It's all about resources and stuff. And if they really want to make Starfield a huge game and they want to make that game to run, well on consoles as well, because let's face it, this is a huge game. I guess they will have to really dig deep into the capabilities of consoles, really, because we're not talking about like small game or stuff. It's not, and obviously it's not everything about graphics per se, but it's more about like CPU load, how all the game mechanics are being handled, whether can they move some of these systems to the GPU, because there's obviously some stuff that can be handled by CPU. What about texture decompression? Will they finally use the compression block, right? I mean, all these small things, and like individually these small things are not necessarily a game changer, but if you combine all these other things together, if you start using like 5 or 6 of these features, well, that can actually make a huge difference when it comes to developing these games. And I guess Unreal Engine 5 is a good example of how different approach to software, because Unreal Engine 4, Unreal Engine 5 both can run on a high specs PC, but Unreal Engine 5 handles lighting differently, handles geometry differently. It's all about virtual geometry and that kind of stuff, right? And it's just like results are astonishing, right? So yeah, the focus on tools and all these like different features is very important. Because what we've seen so far is that, unfortunately, if you want to make the game to really stand out, offer great graphics, and you don't necessarily optimize properly, and you don't use these features, well, you get results like, for example, Hogwarts Legacy, which I think has got some performance issues to this day when it comes to 60 frames per second. Look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Still not perfect. I mean, they are still optimizing. They still got, that game just launched like a week ago, or maybe or so. So, it's still early, but that shouldn't be acceptable anyway, right? To release games in such state. So what I'm trying to say is that if developers will use just raw power of these consoles, yeah, they are leaving a lot of capability, I guess, on the table. And it's not even now all about power per se, because yes, teraflops are fine because you still have to process them, but it's more about using these different techniques that gives you boosting performance, better graphics or better lighting, etc, and Unreal Engine 5 does that well. So yeah guys, listen, at the end of the day, it's good to see that Microsoft is actually supporting devs, well, at least some of them, because that was not really the case with Arcane Studio, and Phil Spencer did confirm that. He did say that, hey, that's on them, that's on Xbox, that was a mistake, not supporting them properly. But guys, it is what it is. So listen, I think that's a bit of an optimistic news when it comes to Starfield. And there's been some other rumors in the past which I reported on, suggesting that there's a chance that Starfield may be 60 frames per second game on consoles too. So I guess we will have to wait and see. Starfield is launching in September, so it's not really long of a wait anymore. So guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.